Welcome to Deadlock, a new game developed by Valve, and boy oh boy, is it gonna be fucking great. So let's get into it and I can show you exactly how these characters work and how the game works more overall. Get the fuck out of here. So you finally convinced somebody on your friends list or somebody you don't even know to purchase Deadlock. So you finally convinced somebody on your friends list or somebody you don't know at all to get you invited into Deadlock. And here's a couple things you might want to know before you end up like me playing this game thinking it was completely something. Absolutely it wasn't. Deadlock is a MOBA style shooter that involves TF2, League of Legends, and Overwatch styles of gameplay. You have an upgradable store that's similar to that of Man vs. Machine from TF2 and League of Legends item store with a hero shooter style feel of kind of an Overwatch, but also people say Paladins. I'm not exactly too sure on Paladins, but I'll say this, it definitely reminds me of good old Overwatch days. I'm not saying those days were good. I'm just saying those were some Overwatch days. Now, before you jump in and say, oh, I want to play Reinhardt, so here's a couple things you need to know. Every single player and every single person that existed in TF2, Overwatch, and League combined are in this game, just in very different forms, and we still have a small roster. Starting off with Abrams. I'm gonna be honest, Abrams right now is my favorite, and I don't care what the fuck you have to say. Fuck you. I'm enjoying him. He's very hardy, he's very healthy, and he's very survivable. He's the best all around if you'd like to start learning the game and understand how to learn your fundamentals and exactly how the game's gonna work. He's a good player to start off with. Easy to play, hard to master. I'll tell you this. Incredible lifesteal potential and incredible damage potential while still being able to be a brawling tank. With Abrams, you get a couple different abilities. You get his... Yeah, that's a lifesteal pool. Anybody within it that, as long as they're an enemy, will be harvested for their health and fed to your beautiful, scrumptious, Hellboy looking, I wish I could look at my face. Coming up with is his main gun. It's essentially a 9-shoot revolver that shoots like a shotgun. The spread is pretty decent for mid-range, but at far range, you're not going to be seeing much effect. So don't expect to use him from down the lane and, you know, to be able to pop shots at an enemy that doesn't really fucking care that you're there. Second ability is more familiar. That's fucking right, it's Reinhardt's charge. You get to pin an enemy while charging at them, and then you get to stun them once you hit them against a wall. It makes for pretty good rallying potential. Say there's a massive crowd of people, you push one into the charge, hit your siphon ability, and now you have a whole crowd of people who are feeding you your lifesteal. Now, third ability is a passive ability which lets you generate damage over time. This gives him the sustain he needs to stay in the fight for long periods of time or extended periods of time, unlike other champs who will have to make sure they either have a burst heal or just genuine lifesteal. With this, he's able to keep himself alive not only off his lifesteal, but off incoming damage, although this can easily be out-healed. And his fourth one, which I like to call, you know, I'm not even gonna call it, you'll just, if you play Overwatch, you know exactly what this is. It's fucking Doomfist. Abrams, I'll give him like a 6 out of 10, just cause like he's a good character. I've been playing him quite a bit and understanding exactly how he works and whatnot, and I like him. But I'll be honest, he's definitely not my piece de resistance. He's not my dude. He's not my champ. I'll show you one of my favorites actually as of right now. Warden. Oh shit, I closed the fucking game. Next character on my list is Warden. Warden is essentially a chase down potential brawler who, I'll be honest, I'm not very good at, but he's very fun. He reps the ability Alchemic Flask, Willpower, Binding Word, and Last Stand. His potential and utility make him an extremely valuable hero, I feel like, right now. Especially given what the meta is that... And yes, this game just came out, but the meta is extremely fucking strong as it stands. With Alchemic Flask, it's essentially just a small debuff range along with some damage. You damage, slow, and reduce weapon damage outcoming from it, so it lets you get a little bit more aggressive for anybody going into the area. He reps the 17 base ammo rifle that... Its damage is pretty good from fall off. It could definitely be better, but don't worry, his upgrades and all that make it a lot fucking better than it is. His second ability is essentially a shield that gives him a boost of speed and stamina for a short period of time. This allows for the chase down potential that I just mentioned about, so say somebody's running away from you, you can easily just, well, no, I don't have it, but just think I have it. You could just zoom towards them and you'll be able to have a little bit of more oomph to you and sturdiness to you that you won't get shat on by while you're chasing them. His third one is one I use a lot. It's the only CC in the game that I feel like requires skill rate, because you need to make sure they're in a position where they can't run away. When you use Binding Word, there's a range of about 20 meters that begins to take effect. If they leave that range of 20 meters, this effect no longer works. So you'll need to make sure the person you're trying to hit with this and lock them in place is within an area that they won't really be able to move. Within close quarters, this is really effective because they can't really move that. As you can see, the walls begin to close in as the time hits 0. Once that time hits 0, they're locked within that and take a little bit of damage. They can't move for about a second or two. And Last Stand, which I'm gonna be honest, it's not that great, but it's not that bad either. Last Stand has a 2-second windup, and where you damage anybody in front in this little cone, but heal yourself for that exact amount of damage. So Warden, honestly, just because I'm biased, 7 out of 10, but probably other people will probably say 6 out of 10, just because he's also kind of basic. His character isn't anything to like be horrified of, just because he could chase down stragglers or people who are isolated on their own, and his potential to isolate you and shut you down is extremely high. Moving on. While I'm not exactly too fond of this character, they're extremely fucking good, and it's Haze. Haze just puts out a metric fuck ton of damage before you can even say oh fuck. I'm not exactly 100% sure on how all of these characters work, but I'm gonna give you what I believe and how I feel they could be beneficial to the game. And in Haze does a fuck ton of damage. So Haze has a stack right here called Fixation. Every bullet that hits will add an extra damage stack that benefits her in terms of more damage. And if it's a headshot, it counts for 2 stacks. So you can add a fuck ton of stacks to make more damage, to make more kill, and it max stacks up to 30 stacks. So you get 0.2 plus per stack, and that if you upgrade that to its max,
there is no escaping me.
It's 0.4 damage per plus stack. I'm not exactly sure if that scales. I don't believe it does. We can actually check right here. It doesn't. While the damage stack itself doesn't scale with whatever items you have, it will scale with the base weapon damage, meaning you can put out a fuck ton of damage. So it makes her a very viable option to be a tank shredder and or brawler shredder. Thing is, you trade off a lot of health for that. Now you get her knife. Her knife is really good. It's a sleeping dagger that it's a sleep dagger, as you'd expect. It just, you hit somebody with it and there you go. Me. Matter of fact, her sleeping dagger does exactly what you think. You hit somebody, they go to bed, and now you can just blast them in the face. I'd like to say this is Ana in part of this kit. Also, let's be honest, this character kind of seems like Tracer with the 2 guns, but maybe I'm just looking at that weird. Once you throw a smoke bomb down, you're able to go invisible. Nobody can see you while you're moving. If I am correct, if they shoot you though, it interrupts that, and you're now exposed to everybody. With her ultimate, it's Bullet Dance, and it's exactly what you think. It's that one motherfucker from League of Legends, the guy who looks really handsome, him. Honestly, I've had really bad troubles with her, but understanding exactly who she is as a character, as a very fucking good tank shredder and very good DPS, I'll put her at like at a 7. But I don't really like her, so she's getting a 4. One of my favorite characters, even though I can't necessarily play him right now, is Lash. Lash is an old-timey boxer come cyberpunk, and this motherfucker hurts. Treat Lash like an assassin. He's got the Doomfist gauntlet system, you know, bullets in his gauntlet. But when it comes time, he can just fucking... Oh, damn it. Lash's ability is called Ground Strike, where you just smack the ground and anybody in front of you will take damage. Now, that damage does scale depending on how high you are, so it's recommended to be above your enemies when you're going to use this, and you'll even be able to see kind of where it's going to happen. That damage doesn't scale too much with its base stat, but once you get your items and such, obviously it'll go way higher. And here's his second ability, Grapple, which is just designed to keep him in the air based off the target he's actually looking at. His whole kit is designed to be around a combo system. His whip essentially is a lifesteal to keep him sustained, but I honestly don't really think it's that big of a deal. It's an 80% lifesteal, which is good for sustain, but not enough to keep you alive in a fight. And then his ultimate, which I fucking hate, is this. It's an absolute fucking monster slam dunk that you can use to pull somebody towards you and punch them right back into the fucking ground, and it is extremely disrespectful. Lash benefits off extreme physical damage and bullet damage. I wouldn't recommend too much spirit in this, but very good assassin style and brawler style build. He has some very near close one-shot potential once upgraded, and yeah, no, fuck you if you play this dude. Oh, Great Talon. Hanzo, but fucking better. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to fucking play them. I don't know shit about them, so I'm gonna tell you what I know about them so far. Great Talon, range character, obviously, who would have fucking thought, you know, given the bow, is a very annoying piece of shit that decides, hey, I see somebody over there. I'm just gonna have no drop-off damage. I'm joking about the no drop-off damage. They just do a lot of damage over distance. So their first ability is Charge Shot, where they can essentially just charge up a shot and fire it right at you, and usually does a lot of fucking damage. This is spirit-based, so if you don't have spirit armor or anything, it's gonna hurt, like a lot. So make sure you have shit for this, because if not, it's gonna start fucking hurting a lot. Their second ability, Rain of Arrows, is meant to be a spacer and range crowd control to give you some space when you think things are getting a little hairy. You can just jump out, bam, 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 and then you can even throw one of these out. So their whole kit allows them to mix and match whatever they'd like, as many people in this game. Anybody that walks into this little field gets immobilized for about 2-3 seconds and then is released subsequently after. And their fourth ability is Guided Owl, which I'm just gonna let it speak for itself.
I'll find them.
It's a fucking hunter killer drone from Black Ops 2. Don't dare you tell me otherwise. Either way, very annoying kit for people who know how to play it, because it's just abusive as fuck. You can do everything while in the sky because you don't need to touch the fucking ground. You know why? Because you're too cool for the fucking ground. Also, not to mention their bow looks exactly like one of those Nerf bows, if you know what I'm fucking talking about. And the last one for today's list, because I'm not going over all of them, because I want you to watch the next video, and I want you to hit the like button, and I want you to hit the subscribe button, and I want all of you to share with your friends. But the last one for today's video is gonna be, well, the one I'm experimenting with as of right now, and that's Infernus. Infernus, as I've been told, is very good with lifesteal, but I'm going to show you exactly why. Infernus is kind of what you'd expect for a dude who's on fire with a handgun. You get your fire stacks just because you can. Anybody you shoot at will begin to build this fire stack, and once that is full, they'll get burn damage over time. You can actually increase that damage. His first ability, Catalyst, allows you to tie in the fact that he has these fire stacks along with, you know, America's favorite pastime drink, oil. Once that oil stack is there, or that oil timer is there, you have that exact amount of time to finish a stack with it. It'll amplify any damage placed onto that target. It's not necessarily that you have to ignite it, it just has to be there. His second ability is actually pretty fun, and it's called Flame Dash. Anything you walk through, anywhere you go, there will be a path of fire. And anybody you walk through with that will get affected with it and immediate burn damage. And his fourth ability, which to be honest is fucking crazy, is Concussive Combustion. You turn into a bomb, and you concuss everybody within that range. It makes you a very lethal and aggressive unit on the team. If you see a motherfucker run in using Flame Walk and it's already pretty mid to late game, shit yourself, or he'll do it for you. Infernus, honestly, I'll give him a 8 out of 10. He's really fun and really intuitive with how he plays with his teammates and enemies. And also, before you say, oh, you said he works good with lifesteal, yeah, I'll show you fucking why. After you take some damage, you know, you're gonna want to obviously have some lifesteal to heal you up. So I'm gonna show you exactly why this dude's so good with it. I'm gonna let this thing almost get me to near half. All right.
Let's go!
Now, mind you, in most other cases, that thing will kill you in a matter of a couple seconds. I was able to stand there for my happy lucky ass for about 30 seconds before it killed me. That shouldn't be possible in most cases, and the reason for that is because every single bit of fire tick is actually lifesteal itself. It's not only the actual hit that does anything, it's the whole hit, and all these ticks subsequently afterward. It makes for a fucking insane lifesteal system. And thank you to Sin for telling me about this, because I wouldn't have actually never known about this, and I wouldn't have thought about this if it wasn't for him. Yeah, on a 10 scale, he's definitely like an 8 just because of how funny he is and how his abilities tie in with each other and all over the place. It's a very fun kit, but also can be very easily abused, and yeah, fuck you if you disagree with me. Also, how the fuck are you gonna disagree? Look how dripped this dude is. He's wearing a red fucking fedora with a finger gun for a weapon. This dude's baller. Also, not to mention, if you ever see those vases, break them. They have permanent buffs. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do follow, subscribe, like, and all such, because this took a little bit to record, and I'd hope you appreciate it. Also, do expect a second video on the rest of the roster, specifically Mo Krill, McGinnis, Wraith, Yamato, Paradox, Dynamo, Bebop,